Howdy, howdy. This is Strider.
And this is Nin and Shadow.
Yes, this is a kitty cat. He's we're getting him from the back here.
Get his silly head.
Yeah,
there he is.
And today we're actually looking over. So a while back, last year in 2023, I did the Nintendo Crappypastas script. It was something I really have wanted to do, but I never finished doing it because it just kept losing in the polls. Like when we did of 20,000 people voting, it would get maybe 10%, and I'd love to do it, but it just doesn't get. So what I'm going to do with members for now, at least, is I'm going to go through essentially, because I did most of the entries and I finished them, so I want to just read some of them with you. Nin will be taking over with what I was originally going to get Dennis to do, his lines. Is that all right with you, love?
Yeah, sure.
So we'll get into that, and I'm just going to have some random sort of Pokemon pictures up as we go through each Nintendo one or whatever we cover. So first off is our bonus entry. Scary Pokemon Creepypasta. Let's begin. I loved Pokemon as a kid. It was my favorite game ever. I don't have any of my old games cause my mum sold them at a flea market. That night I cried because my Pokemons were all gone. 20 years later, I am on eBay trying to get my Pokemon Yellow.
The guy who owned it used the name called Cliched Old Guy and had the price set to 1 cent.
1 cent?
The item description read, I got this game from a flea market where a guy running it said it was free. So I'm going to
Make it 1 cent.
I'm going to make it 1 cent just because he said it was haunted.
Oh, haunted.
I was like, no way it's haunted, and I bought it. Bought it. It came to me in 2 business days, and as soon as I got it, I started it up.
Oh, good start.
It played fine until it got to Lavender Town. You see, when I was a kid, I heard the Lavender Town theme, and I almost wet my pants.
The music still creeped me out. And it got weird as soon as the music slowed down and the screen had a tint of blood red. So I assume at this point we're playing a stupid game. Is he playing? So he's playing like the Pokemon Haunted Yellow, and a tint of blood red. After 10 minutes passed, I was in brackets. I was in the bathroom for those 10 minutes. The music was slow.
That was just so important to tell us.
And it makes it so much scarier when we know he's sitting down
in
playing
the bathroom
his Pokemon.
playing his silly ass game.
The music was slowed even more, and the screen looked blood red, almost hyper-realistically blood red. I was like, dear God, this is getting scary. Then a hyper-realistic picture of Marowak, spelt like bone marrow, with a hyper-realistic eye socket filled with hyper-realistic blood hyper-realistically appeared. I hyper-realistically puked, and I think my pants hyper-realistically had hyper-realistic crap in them.
That's a lot of hyper-realistic
stuff.
Ooh. I was hyper-realistically scarred, and that was just in a kid's game. There was hyper-realistic audio of a hyper-realistic woman saying, all you humans are the same, putting our lives in danger for your own amusement. You made my son an orphan. You made me dead. Now you shall die with us.
Very well, nicely done. So, in case you might not know, basically this is Marowak, the mother of Cubone, and she is getting really upset because, we made her. It's from the Lavender Town from 25 years ago. So, Anyway. With that, I just ran out of the house, and I just keep running a good 10 miles away from my... This guy's a marathon runner. That's impressive. 10 miles away from my house, till I heard a boom. So I ran back to my... He's run 20 miles.
Yeah.
So I ran back to my house to find it in a hyper-realistic ruins. And my Game Boy was utterly destroyed as if I had hyper-realistic exploded. After that, I found some clean clothes, $120,000 in my car keys. You found 120 grand.
Who has that lying around?
That's a pretty good find,
pretty
you
good
know?
find,
Homeless
yeah.
person walking along, $120,000.
Hell
I might
yeah,
just
I
think
might
I'll
just take that or put it in my back pocket and use that for later.
Well, back to being homeless.
Oh, well, back to my box.
As well as some food, current house prices here. As well as some food and just left. Not a day goes by where I remember that day. So in other words, he never remembers that day because not a day goes by where he remembers that day.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good first one. Like, that was really, really funny. And the more I read this, the more I want to do this list because that would be really good.
Because it's silly.
It's just great, yeah. Anyway, so that was Pokemon, based on Marowak. The next one is Legend of Zelda, Twilight Death. So for this, we need to put in Zelda Twilight Princess. So we get some pictures of Twilight Princess. So that one looks nice. We'll go with that one. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. Look at that. Ooh, I like that. Gorgeous Zelda cover. Anyway, let's move on to this. Legend of Zelda, Twilight Death. Does anyone remember the Wii version of Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess? I remember it fondly, as it was my first ever Zelda game. The motion controls were great and made my story more immersive. In any case, I have a story that I think everyone here will enjoy. It was a bright sunny day when I searched Evil Bay for used Wii games. Well, you see, it's like eBay, but it's
Yeah,
Evil Bay.
Evil.
If we look up Evil Bay on Google. When I found a copy of I bet that's where all the haunted
yeah.
games come from.
Absolutely.
I found a copy of Twilight Princess that was being sold for free.
For free!
I bought it, and a creepy old man's face came out of my computer screen and said, Thank
you for your purchase. Now die.
I thought it was weird, but I assumed it was just a glitch. Oh, I gotta have Dennis read this. My computer. In any case, the disc immediately came to my door, and I was
You
excited.
can just hear Dennis saying that.
Oh
actually.
yeah, I've heard him say it's just a glitch. So many. I can even do Dennis's voice. When I turned the cartridge and put in the Wii in the disc tray, the game started. On the title screen, it was missing Elden Bridge, and Link was on Epona, but with hyper-realistic blood eyes. I was very spooked, but I remembered it was a creepypasta, so I assumed it was just a glitch and kept playing. Honestly, Dennis is my favorite
Oh, he's
channel
beautiful.
on all of
We
YouTube.
love you, Dennis.
So obviously, because he's on the channel all the time. I've wanted to have him on the channel just a side note for years, so I'm so glad he's on now. Actually, you can read this part because I'll take. I think you just read this part well.
After I selected a new file, Link came onto the screen and he had a hyper-realistic blood eye. And he kept stabbing
La.
La and Colin until they were dead from dying today. I screamed hyper-realistically as I was scared I would die. Then Link said, "You're next."
Oh, that's no good. They spelt your right. It's got to be your. I've got to correct this for them.
You're
Yeah, no, that needs to be your next. See
You're next.
that? If you.
Then Link said, "You're next." If you read this story, Link will come to you and hyper-realistically kill you until you're dead today.
Oh, these are great. I apologize. I actually haven't added in. Oh, actually, I have had it in some of Dennis's lines, but I kept on running into really good troll passes. Like, I've got to add this one. I've got to add this one. So I have like 2 bonus entries. So we'll do a few more, and we won't make it too long. But I'm really enjoying these. So next is Mario 64 Tennis. Pasta. So we'll go Mario 64 Tennis. See if we get a nice picture. Oh, Mario Tennis. Look at that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. And so next up, Mario 64 Tennis Pasta. It was nighttime. I was bored and decided to play my old games for the Nintendo 64. One of them was Mario Tennis. The Mario Tennis intro was just going well until the scene with Wario and Waluigi.
After Luigi mocked Waluigi, they began to approach each other angrily. And after that, Luigi swung his racket at Waluigi's face.
Waluigi, darling.
Oh, whatever.
Whatever.
It sounds funnier coming from
Waluigi,
me.
yeah.
Waluigi. Causing Waluigi to bleed and his eyeballs fell out. After that, Mario told Luigi to stop it. And Wario went in front of Mario and started throwing some insults at him like it was all his fault.
His eyeballs fell out. I feel like a few insults are probably... Maybe saying...
Just a couple, you know,
Oh, yeah,
it's
Luigi.
appropriate.
Luigi, please stop it. You killed him brutally. Please
You
stop
killed
it.
him dead.
You killed him dead. His eyeballs fell out. He's very gross. We have to use them as tennis. But anyway, I'm going to shut up. I skipped the intro. Really? Oh, good call. But not even the title screen was good. It was pitch black, and a flashlight had pointed to Yoshi and Birdo's dead bodies. I was scared, and I skipped the title screen as fast as I could. The menu screen was even worse. Toad had empty eye sockets and a bleeding mouth. Not Toad.
The cheerful music that played in the title screen began to slow down, and then it stopped. After that, I heard some static noises. I had to work up the courage to get through it without any fear.
I chose a double match, 2-game and 1-set match. The character select screen had pretty much the worst than the intro. The characters had bleeding parts, missing eyes except Paratroopa, Boo, and Baby Mario.
Boo.
Boo. Yeah, it is Boo. I chose Paratroopa and Baby Mario. I choose the CPUs to be on the Super Bloody Bros. The match started and the crowd started chanting death until the match was over. I got 2 games and the Bloody Brothers got 1. After I did a game set, the screen froze for 4 seconds. I was so scared, and the screen started blinking red and yellow.
After that, a Super Mario 64-ish Bowser started to approach the screen and said, "Why have you done this to us?" I replied,
I haven't done anything, Bowser. I'm serious. I just wanted to play my favorite game. If you still think I did something, I'm very sorry. How can I turn this game back to normal, please?
He heard me somehow and said, "Here is what you should do."
And then he said, my computer froze. Ooh, it must be a creepypasta.
Oh.
Before he was going to tell me what I should do, the screen froze again for another 4 seconds. This time there was no blinking colors or anything. Instead, Paratrooper appeared and said, "Help me."
Help me! Help me! Help me!
I started to hear some Japanese-like screaming. I took the cartridge from my N64, put it on the box and turned it off the N64. I began to shed some tears and said,
Why in the world has this happened to me? I never wanted this to happen to me.
This is very emotional, darling.
know.
I'm getting all choked up. I went to bed, slept, and somehow I had a nightmare. I mean, after your last experience, I think a nightmare is pretty normal. I woke up at a stormy night, and I saw some shadows of Yoshi. It's so scary. I slowly went outside my bedroom, and I heard something that sounded like Bowser's voice.
Get out now!
Get out now! Oh.
Followed by Yoshi's voice. We are waiting for you. I don't know what Yoshi's voice sounds like.
To be fair, that would be hilariously not scary to hear, just randomly to go, "We are waiting for you."
We are waiting for you.
I ran downstairs as fast as I could. They're waiting for me after all.
Yeah.
And I saw Daisy and Peach's shadows in the kitchen. I heard some sounds that sounded like they were coming from my... What, are they cooking a sandwich in there? It's preparing a sandwich? I ran upstairs and when I checked my bedroom, Bowser and Yoshi were here. I ran to my sister's bedroom and jumped out her window.
Because that's what you do rationally.
Outside there was a spiraling red in the sky and also the buildings and houses were set on fire. And I heard some other screams. When I went in the backyard, the characters in Mario Tennis were there. They were holding double-edged swords with bleeding eyes. They slowly approached me and Mario and said, "We just lost the hopes to you," followed by Bowser saying, "You're in hell. You're so loved place anymore. Not in your so loved place anymore." And also Daisy said,
"You're a disgrace to be one of our fans." I woke up and scared enough to realise that was a dream. It was like 7:30 a.m. and I checked Mario Tennis 64 again and it was all normal. I guess something possessed the cartridge before I began to play it. The end.
or is it?
Yeah, it clearly says the end there.
Oh. The next one. We'll do another one, I think. The next one is... Oh, we've done a Zelda one. Let's see what else we got, though. This one does look very funny. Oh, this one looks fun. Oh, it's Sonic EXE. This will be great. Oh, no, wait. It's Wario Head Apparition versus Sonic EXE. Well, we'll do Wario Head... Oh, no. What are you doing? What are you doing? Wario... Oh, damn it.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get up the Wario Head Apparition. Wario Head Apparition. It'll figure it out. There we go.
Oh my god, it's creepy.
Yeah, it is.
I don't like it.
Let's go with...
It's yucky.
It's yucky? We'll go with that one. That's not scary, is it?
Yucky.
It's yucky? Okay, we'll go with that one then. It's meant to be scary. The Wario Head Apparition versus Sonic EXE. Green voice need... Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so if it's green, I need to be Corrupt Strider.
Oh, yeah. Oh no, not Sonic EXE again.
You'll never escape him, Dennis. Description. The description is, it's a clash... So this is when we get into beta territory, where I haven't completed my script and crap's all over the place. It's a clash of creepypastas as two of gaming's most notorious gaming creepypastas go head-to-head in a battle to the bitter end. Question is, who will win? Will the apparition show Sonic EXE fun, or will the demonic hedgehog prove to Wario why he is God? Find out on DBX.
Intro. No rules, only bloodshed. DBX.
The hell is DBX?
I don't know.
Fight! Music or Dead by Daylight. Sonic... Oh, I get it. It's like a script of like a Dead by Daylight. Sonic EXE. Lobby and chase thee. But this is stupid. Green Hill Zone. Fear. Fear is the only thing that could describe the emotions that Miles Tails Prow was feeling right now as he sprinted down the blood-soaked lands of Green Hill Zone with large walls of flames and large as walls of flames and the dead carcasses of dead critters surrounding him. Tears filled his eyes as a demented voice called out to him behind and said, "You can never outrun me, Tails." The voice shouted as Tails picked up more and more speed.
However, the two-tailed fox was unfortunate enough to trip as whatever was pursuing him was getting closer and closer.
Ooh.
Tails quickly jerked his head and his eyes widened with the fear, completely overpowering his senses as a gloved hand snatched him by the neck. The fox felt his body lift right off the ground as he was met eye to eye with his supposed friend, Sonic the Hedgehog. The only difference was that the only difference was that his body was coated in blood. His eyes were pitch black and his pupils were a dark crimson red.
Sonic EXE was the name of the the name, and Terror was his game. Sonic EXE was the name, and Terror was his game. Okay, I'm sorry, but that really takes me out of this moment when you shoehorn in silly rhymes like that. Please don't, Tails begged, struggling to breathe from the monster's tight grip around his neck. But unfortunately, Tails' pleas for help were ignored. Hate to break it to you, pal, but mercy isn't really on my to-do list. Sonic EXE chuckled. The grip around his neck was tightening while Tails chocked and gagged in pain. Now then, time to die. Sonic EXE laughed. Reminds me of when I used to play Baddie. I used to do a voice like that. Sonic EXE laughed as he prepared to take the life of his two tails. It's taking his time, isn't he? Who felt as though his life was flashing before his eyes. Jeez, I didn't do much apart from follow Sonic around, did I? However, before Demon could kill his prey...
Boring!
What? A loud baritone Italian voice came booming through the land as Sonic EXE immediately dropped Tails and began to jerk his head both ways, trying to find the source of his disembodied voice. What the? Who said that? The demon growled before feeling a shadow loom over him.
Up here, dingus!
The voice called out as Sonic EXE turned around to see an unusual sight lay before him. Something unlike he had ever seen.
Floating above him was a giant disembodied head of a man with a fat chin, a pink nose with a curly black moustache, and a yellow cap atop his head with a teal-coloured W imprinted on the centre. This was the notorious monster that had haunted many personalised copies of Super Mario 64, the Wario Head apparition.
What the hell? Sonic EXE said to himself while Tails saw this as a golden opportunity to escape as he immediately sped off down the trail with the demon was focused on this unwanted apparition in his world. This is so stupid. What the hell do you want, fatty? Sonic EXE snarled as the floating head, completely annoyed by the fact that this thing had the gall to invade his own game. In response, the Wario Head apparition cackled a bit. A little before clearing his throat, if he had one at least.
Well, if you must know, I'm deciding to invade other games because why not? Besides, this world is terrible and needs a few changes, including me booting the jerk who thought all this edgy stuff was necessary.
The floating head of Wario spoke while Sonic EXE's scowl turned to a grin. Oh, you're thinking of taking my world? Well, too bad, freak. In this realm, I am God. Sonic EXE shouted with a cackle. However, the apparition began chuckling as well for a completely different reason.
That's a good one, and I'm the president of Ecuador.
Ecuador. He said with a laugh. This obviously peed off the demon.
Pissed him off.
It pissed him off. Not only was his floating head invading the realm, but he also had the nerve to make fun of him. I mean it, freak. I'm God here, and I won't stand around and take crap from a floating head. Sonic EXE growled, furrowing his brows while the apparition merely grinned.
Wait, you really think you're a god? You gotta be cuckoo crazy. You want God? Wario, show you God.
Verdict? Oh, and that's it. I guess the verdict is for us to decide. Well, my verdict is the same as most of the commenters of this story. Wario showed Sonic what fun is.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed a bit of a battle and seeing Wario kick EXE's butt, but it was still a surprisingly lively story.
Yeah, I agree. This was a lot better than I thought it would be. The suggested music to accompany it really set the scene well too. I'd say this was my favorite Crappypasta so far, and I'd still agree. That was really fun to read, actually. Well, yeah, I just wanted to read through a few of those and give you a bit of a feel. If you guys do enjoy this, let us know in the members' comments, and we'll definitely read some more.
Yeah.
Because we really enjoyed
it's a bit
reading.
of fun.
And I may still make this someday. There's been a bit of interest in Creepypastas coming back. I'll put in a few more polls, but I don't know. The problem is they take a lot of work.
Yeah.
My team burns themselves out every time because they'll
So
have
do
like
you.
5 minutes worth of editing each, and I know it doesn't sound like much, but they put a lot of effort in. Anyway, enough of that. But we'll also be out with some new top lists soon, and talk to you soon. See ya.
Bye.
Yeah.